So let's just say that I like to live my life as frugally as possible, but I also like to enjoy my hard-earned money. Hey everyone, it's Alyssa from Mixed Up Money, and if you're new to my channel, I'm a 29-year-old female who lives in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. When most people think of Calgary or Alberta in general, they think of oil rigs, more rigs, and the Calgary Stampede. This is one of the most wealthy cities in Canada, and we actually have one of the highest average incomes. I think we might actually still have the highest average income. If we do, I'll pop it right here for you. But like any major city, it is expensive and it does become quite costly. So I think it's really cool that there is a new trend going around YouTube where people track their spending for an entire week. And as someone who really cares about their finances, I mean, this is what my channel and my website is dedicated to. I do this often, like I just pick a random week where I track my spending to make sure that I'm still not exceeding what I bring in every month. And I think it's awesome that more people are interested in their money and what they're doing with it, because it's really not that common these days for people to know what they're bringing in and how much is going out every single month, let alone every single week. So it's a good trend, and it's something that I really recommend everyone should do when they're starting to get to know their finances and if they have any financial goals that they want to reach. Plug that my new book, Your 100-Day Financial Goal Journal, is now available for pre-order, and that is linked below, so you should check that out as well. Anyways, in these videos, they show what they spend and what they did each day in a vlog kind of style, and then they break down the numbers and give you a total cost at the end of the week. So that's what I'm going to do for you. I actually haven't tracked my spending since I became a homeowner back in July, so nearly 6 months ago, and I'm a little bit scared. I know that I'm doing okay financially, so I don't feel the need to track my spending anymore. I'm more scared of the judgment. That's one of the worst things about finance, is that people really think they know what you should be doing with your money. And I think that's why people are always scared to talk about it. Here is my quick disclaimer in that situation. My spending is different every week. Sometimes it's very high, sometimes it's very low. So let's just say that I like to live my life as frugally as possible, but I also like to enjoy my hard-earned money. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's important that I'm just sure that what I'm doing with my money is best for me, and that I'm not trying to emulate what anyone else that I see is doing, because we have completely different financial lives. If you can say to yourself every single day that you feel good about what your money's doing and where you're headed financially, that's all that matters. And you shouldn't compare yourself to anyone on the internet. So a lot of people who filmed this video didn't actually include any of their fixed expenses. It was more just their variable expenses and things that they spent on throughout the week, which is fine. But I think it would be weird to calculate my weekly expenses if I didn't include some fixed expenses. So I will be telling you what I spend on my mortgage each week. Of course, you have like electricity and internet and a bunch of other expenses, particularly if you're a homeowner, because oh my god, there's so many expenses. But those do actually come out of my account on certain days, and luckily most of them didn't come out this week, so that's just how the cookie crumbled. I didn't even plan for that. So to preface, my mortgage is $267 a week. That is broken down to how me and my husband divide our financial situation. My start date for this challenge was Wednesday, November 13th, and my end date for this challenge was Tuesday, November 19th. So I was actually on CTV Calgary that morning, which meant that I was up a lot earlier than usual and in the studio by 6:30 a.m. We were talking about finances and how you can better your credit. So I think I have a few clips I can insert for you guys. You can track your spending and get to know where your money's going so that you know when you can dial back, which I know is asking a lot around the holidays, but even if it's just you go out for dinner twice a week, if you cut that back to one, that can make a really big impact long term. On the way home, I stopped at Starbucks to pick up a coffee for myself and my mother-in-law, who watches my daughter during the week. So when I got there, I reloaded my Starbucks app with $25. Typically this lasts anywhere from 1 week to 3 weeks. It really just depends how often I'm going for coffee and if I'm going to a lot of coffee meetings, because I try to buy people coffee as often as I can. But sometimes I just have days where I need like 2 Starbucks coffees. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Sometimes there are days that I just want Starbucks twice. it's not a need. Also on this day, I actually had purchased some custom homemade Christmas signs from a local business. So she came to drop those off for me. I love them so much, and I'm just really excited for Christmas because that was one of the main reasons I wanted to own a home. Sounds silly. And those two signs were $75. On Wednesday, I made breakfast, lunch, and dinner at home, so there were no additional costs. This day was a no-spend day for me. Woo! I stayed at home for work because I work remotely. If you guys want to know what I do for a living, you can watch the video up here. I had breakfast and lunch from home, and then my husband actually brought home at McDonald's, but he paid for that, and I'll insert a little clip explaining why. So I'm filming on my phone, sorry, but obviously I'm in the kids' room. I wasn't gonna spend any money today. It's now 5 o'clock. And that's because I don't like eating out during the week. Like if I have to eat out, I prefer to do it on the weekend because that's like the time. But Spencer's been really sick. We all had the flu over the long weekend. And so we're all kind of recovering and no one's really had an appetite, but it's particularly affecting Spencer. So we just need her to eat. Like she hasn't been eating anything and it's just not good. So we're like getting desperate, and at this point we're literally just gonna try and give her a Happy Meal because she had it once and she ate it no hesitation. So you know, maybe that's what we need right now. And today Nick is buying us McDonald's, so luckily I'm not spending that money, but that is something we did buy today. The only reason I can say I didn't spend it is because we do keep our money separate as a married couple, so there's that. I just wanted to give the transparency and also tell you that parenting's hard, and that's it. That's my update for Thursday. Friday, a big expensive day for me, but mostly because it was payday. And anytime a payday comes around, that's when bills come around. I typically transfer money into my retirement account every single payday. That's not really an expense because it's savings for myself for the future, so it's not going to count towards this challenge, but I just thought it was good to mention because I think it's a good idea to always make sure that you have some savings coming in and out of your accounts. On the 15th, lucky me, I pay my property taxes, which are $305 each month. And I pay for one of my memberships, which I use for a lot of work projects, and that is Canva Premium, and that is $18 a month after the USD to Canadian exchange rate. If you guys are into graphic design or aren't a graphic designer but wish you could do graphic design, I highly recommend Canva Premium. I actually am an affiliate with them, so I'll put my link below so that you guys can get a little bit of a deal when you go to purchase your membership, because you get so much stuff for a really affordable price. It's way cheaper than like Photoshop, and Photoshop you don't get any access to stock photos or graphics or stickers, and I think that's one of the best parts about Canva Premium. Sorry, I'm adding a lot of shameless plugs into this video. That night I went out for a couple drinks with a friend that I hadn't seen in a while, so I bought his drinks and my drinks, which came out to $35.32. I just got home from drinks and I bought myself and my friend drinks, so we got 4 drinks total, and it was, I can't remember with tip, but around $30. So that's all I spent today. It's now almost 10 o'clock and I'm just gonna chill and watch maybe some Hallmark Christmas movies, you know, it's the mood. And then we'll see what tomorrow has in store.
Woo, it's the weekend now.
One of my other savings transfers for me is on Saturdays. I always have $20 go from my checkings into an emergency fund. This happens every single weekend because I used to spend $20 like every Saturday on a cab when I went out with my friends. So once I started to care a little bit more about my money, I started to make this transfer because I didn't even notice the money leaving my account because I was so used to spending it. And it's just kind of stuck ever since then, and it's one of my favorite little quirky savings habits that I have. And I highly recommend just starting something small like that because it does grow quite quickly, and then anytime I had an extra chunk of change, I would throw it towards my emergency fund too. So that was how I built mine. Saturday morning, my family and I went to Walmart to pick up some Christmas decor and lights and all of these things that we thought we had that we didn't have. And we also bought a couple of Christmas gifts. So we ended up spending $174.40 there. When we got home, we spent the rest of the day putting up those lights and decorations. So we ate all of our meals at home that day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then after my kiddo went down to bed, we watched some Hallmark Christmas movies, which I'm super sad because I had the free preview and it's already over and Christmas isn't even here yet. But we also wanted dessert, and we remembered that we had a couple of Dairy Queen coupons. So my husband took off to Dairy Queen and picked us up a peanut butter parfait deal. It was like get one peanut butter parfait, get the next one free. So the cost of one was $4.39. You'll also notice that if you become a parent, that one of your new favorite hobbies is literally just eating junk food after your kid goes to bed, because that's the only time you have to eat junk food. It's the best, and honestly, it's the worst. On Sunday morning, we were up bright and early because my kid is always up bright and early, and we had to go pick up our click and collect order from Superstore because I order from them all the time. I don't like going into the grocery stores if I can avoid it, on the weekends especially. If you guys want to use that, I also have a code, so I'll link that below as well. I had actually planned all of our meals for that week, so I was really excited about this grocery haul, and it came to $197. So it should take us to the end of November unless we need more produce, because my kid is obsessed with fruit and that's a very costly like. On the way home from the grocery store, my husband actually got us Starbucks, which was exciting because I wanted to try the gingerbread latte for the first time. I've never had a desire to try it before, but people were like up in arms about it on Twitter because they don't have it available in a lot of places in the States this year, and it is available in Canada. So I was like, I feel like I should try it because everyone's raving about it, and it was delicious. I probably won't get it again, but it was a cute like Christmassy treat. As soon as we got home and unloaded the groceries, we decided to take off to the Calgary Zoo because it was really kind of warm that day, and heading into the winter, we know we're not going to be lucky like that very often. So we had a couple of free like entry passes. So we went there, and my kid gets in free. So that entire afternoon was free, which was awesome because we brought her lunch and just walked around and checked out the animals, and they already had some Christmas lights up, so that was an added bonus. That night I made my first planned meal, which was chicken fajitas. So we had those as a fam, and then we just chilled. Mondays, oh how I love and also despise you. I worked from home, obviously, again this day. I kind of felt unproductive because I got stuck on a story, but I grinded it out. And that night I made spaghetti and meatballs for my husband and my kid. And then I actually had dinner plans with my sister, so I met her downtown at 10 Foot Henry, a cute little restaurant in Calgary, and we had dinner there. I paid for half of dinner, which was $53.27, and then I also paid for parking, which was $5.25. And I had a really good reminder that night to always have change on me, because it was just so sad. A homeless woman came up to me and she just asked for money for food, and unfortunately I didn't have any cash to give her, and I still feel guilty about it. So a reminder to myself to carry some coins or cash. On this day, I braved the cold and I ventured out to Starbucks to get some work done because I was still stuck on that story and I needed to get it done. And I was super, super glad I did that because a story ended up falling into my lap while I was at Starbucks. And I didn't spend any money there because I still had money loaded onto my app that day. I came home around noon because I had a meeting and I finished out the day there. I actually had all of my meals at home still, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We made chicken pot pie for dinner. And that was it. That was another no spend day. Now for the grand reveal of the total cost of 1 week in my life. $1,159.63. Yikes. I have some closing thoughts for you guys and then I'll let you go. Class, you are not dismissed yet, but you will be soon. My first thought is that I actually really enjoyed tracking my spending and I kind of miss doing it. It's hard, yes, but it's also very eye-opening and it's like an accountability buddy built into your daily life. I used to be very restrictive with my money and not allow myself to go out like multiple times in a week, and now I let myself do that on the occasion, and I'm not upset about it, but I do think that I should dial it back a little bit. The second thing that I noticed is, I don't know why I never noticed this actually, but my mental health has dramatically improved since I become more financially secure. And I'm sure a lot of people already realize that, and I don't know why it took me so long, but I know that when I wasn't able to say yes to things, or that I was constantly having FOMO and always worried about how I was gonna pay for something if I did decide to go out, and that was when I was really going through it. So if you're struggling with your money and you constantly feel worried about how you're going to pay for things and that you're missing things that your friends are planning, just know that it's going to be okay. You do honestly gain more financial stability the further along you go in your career, and you'll get there. And if you need any help, or if you just want to talk, you can pop a comment below or email me at hello@mixedupmoney.com and we can chat. And the third thing I noticed is that I really do need to be conscious of my spending habits. It's hard to cut back right now because it's the holiday season, but doing this for 1 week actually opened my eyes to a lot of realistic and practical ways that I can manage my money better in 2020. So it kind of sparked a lot of ideas for financial resolutions, because I like to do those videos every year. So I can't wait to share those with you guys. I hope that what you saw throughout this video is that I talk about money every day. It's part of my job, it's part of my life, it's a massive part of my life, and I am far from perfect. So the comparison that we consistently play online is super damaging for this reason and so much more. Like, I am not an actual influencer, and those people really harm what we think we should have and what we think we should do with our money. So just be conscious of that. Just because I spent over $1,000 in a week does not mean that's normal. It doesn't mean it's average. I don't have those numbers for you, and I can't provide those numbers for you. So just take this video as kind of a fun challenge. I also hope that you learned that homeownership comes with some significant expenses. Like, out of nowhere, you'll be like, bam, you owe $1,000 for your mortgage and $300 for property taxes, and your electricity is $130, and now all this, and like, it's just a lot at once. So be aware of that. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments. If you want me to do more of these regularly, I have no problem sharing with you guys where I spend my money. If it makes you feel better about yourself, I can do that. If you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and you can turn on the bell notification every time I post. Make sure that you head to Mixed Up Money to read some of my content, and also that you follow me on Twitter at Mixed Up Money and Instagram at Mixed Up Money, and let's chat. Let's be buddies. Bye!